Let's take a look at different countries and how they're dealing with it. We'll talk to France in a short while, but right now let's focus on the UK. President Cyril Ramaphosa on Sunday announced strict travel bans on foreign nationals from high-risk countries, including Italy, Iran, South Korea, Spain, Germany, the US, as well as the United Kingdom. The World Health Organization says Europe is now the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, which originated in the Chinese city of Wuhan. According to John Hopkins University in the US, this is where I beg your pardon, this is where it's saying is quoting is that the UK has a total of 1,553 cases of the coronavirus that have now been confirmed. And to date, 56 people have died, while 53 people have recovered. Let's get more detail on this. We're joined now by the British High Commissioner to South Africa, Nigel Casey. High Commissioner, thanks very much for being with us and welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, Leanne.
Those numbers that I'm quoting, are we correct in that 1,553 cases and 56 people so far have passed away?
That's right. Those are the latest figures from the UK. They do reflect the number of people who have been tested and have had positive tests, but we do suspect that the number of people who've actually got the virus may be higher.
Yeah. Let's talk to the response from the UK so far. A lot of people saying that they're taking too slow to put what has been called draconian measures in place, following its neighbours like Spain, Italy, France, which we just saw yesterday. There's no lockdowns. Things are still open. Life is still continuing, and it's all voluntary self-isolation. What is the latest from Downing Street with regard to the coronavirus?
Well, our Prime Minister announced a set of new measures last night, which do impose unprecedented new peacetime measures, including encouraging self-isolation, particularly for all those people in vulnerable categories, over 70s, people with pre-existing health conditions, and generally encouraging people to work from home, avoid bars, clubs, theatres, restaurants. So really this is a suspension of normal life as we know it in the UK, and it reflects what's happening elsewhere. We are in a phase where community transmission is well entrenched in the UK. It is not possible to contain the virus anymore, so we are trying to delay the peak of the infection so that our health service can cope and that we get through it saving as many lives as possible.
Yeah, there's I suppose two schools of thought. Some saying that they don't want to impose restrictions too early and make sure that people stay home because of fatigue. But there are others that are saying, hang on a second, you need to impose this because it is spreading fast and furiously. We've even had cases of people that have travelled back to South Africa from the UK, and now there are travel restrictions within the UK. What do you make of criticism towards the UK not acting fast enough?
We have been guided by the scientific advice that we've had as a government, by the advice we've had from the WHO throughout this crisis, and we've moved at the pace which their advice has reflected. We have had to make the same difficult decisions as everybody else, conscious that if you do things like school closures, for example, they have an impact on the availability of health workers for our National Health Service, because those health workers are also parents who have caring responsibilities for children. So there are no easy choices here, but we have been guided all along by the scientific advice that we've been receiving, just as the South African government has been here.
Yeah. The reaction from President Cyril Ramaphosa's ban on those travelling from the UK, do you think that this was the right step? What has been the reaction to this?
We completely understand the need for tough measures. South Africa is in a different position from the UK. There is not well-established community transition here, thankfully, and so these measures are completely understandable, and we are certainly going to encourage all British citizens to comply with them. There are some important points of detail which we're seeking urgent clarification of, because we have a responsibility to those British citizens who are already here, having travelled here from the UK recently. For example, are airline crews exempt from the new measures? If not, it's going to be difficult for major European airlines to continue their services from the UK, from France, from Germany. and to get home all those travellers who are currently in South Africa and currently in this region, because South Africa is a major transit hub for passengers who've gone on to other countries in this region, like Lesotho, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Namibia, Botswana. And so we are trying to seek urgent clarification in the next couple of days from our colleagues in the South African government of some of these points of detail which are important.
Yeah, just in terms of a lot of South Africans also, I believe, live in South Africa as well, and they have been wanting to come back from the UK. You know, that we saw some repatriation happening from China, from the South African government side. How will the UK government assist if there are any repatriation queries and requests?
Well, it is first and foremost the responsibility of the airlines to honour the tickets which their passengers have bought. They have a duty of care to their passengers, and so in the first instance it is for passengers to contact their airlines to check that their return flights are going to be honoured, and I would encourage any British citizen who's currently in South Africa to do just that. We have assisted in exceptional circumstances with an evacuation flight from Wuhan, but the norm should be for that airlines take the responsibility for bringing their passengers home.
All right. High Commissioner, we have to leave it there. We thank you very much. We give you strength at this time as well. I imagine your family as well, trying to deal with it in the best way that they can.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. That was Nigel Casey, the British High Commissioner, talking to us about the response from the UK as well as President Cyril Ramaphosa's ban on travel to and from the UK. We're going to take a break. When we return, we have the French ambassador to South Africa talking to Sakina about the plans that were put in